What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream for Bring the Juice. How's it going, everybody? Hang on, Derek. It's kind of weird. Give me a second here.
All good.
We're all on the wrong side here. Hang on one second.
There we go. You can just click and drag, you know.
Okay. I haven't been caught up with all that. But what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Presser has not quite yet started, scheduled for 4 minutes, which means it'll be another 15, knowing Chris Ballard. So we have it here, though, ready to go whenever Chris Ballard does come up for the Indianapolis Colts. I'll unmute this just so in case he starts talking.
Volume is ready.
But I think it was just Zach Taylor was just talking like 5-10 minutes ago on here, so they're kind of just cycling through it right now. So Chris Ballard should be on next. So hopefully everybody is doing well. Shout out to everybody. Thanks for being here as we're reacting to Chris Ballard, Shane Steichen, all of that kind of stuff in regards to that. I'll put this on full screen for us. And we'll see, man. We'll see what Ballard has to say. I mean, obviously a ton of questions that I'm sure we'll have in regards to the NFL draft, in regards to free agency in less than 2 weeks. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, Derek, and I'm just going to be very intrigued to hear what is asked and, you know, if we get any hints, I suppose, in what the Colts might be focused on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what he says. And, you know, it's the combine, you know, time where, you know, a lot of promising young prospects get a chance to show what they got in front of all these different teams and in front of all these fans, you know. So, you know, it's always a fun time to see what it is. And, you know, maybe we'll get some more word about some other players too. You know, we saw you obviously posted that video of Jelani Woods and, you know, his workout and how he's doing. The Colts actually had a formal meeting. Did you see the player that they're formally meeting?
Yes.
Yep. So the first formal meeting that the Indianapolis Colts have officially said that they're meeting with is Ashton Genty, the should have been Heisman running back from Boise State. So very intriguing that, you know, the Indianapolis Colts are, you know, talking to Ashton Genty because, you know, Ashton Genty is by all accounts a easy bona fide top 20 pick. So, you know, why Indy would be talking to him if they were not going to use a first round on him, I have no idea. But, you know, nevertheless, Cody, should we have this go to both channels? I think it should go to the Reacts channel and the main channel, or just this one?
Sorry, I forgot I muted myself. I think just this one because it's reaction. This is what it's all about, man. So we'll probably, though, on the main channel, though, probably just do a recap of some of the highlights from what both of these guys had to say. So, you know, if people aren't able to catch our live reaction, they can hop over to our main channel and see kind of our thoughts there on that. So, but yeah, shout out to everybody who is here, though, who's catching it live here. Chris Ballard, which it's 4:30, so I don't expect him to come for another 5-10 minutes, knowing him.
Nate Atkins just saying, well, Chris Ballard and Steichen will be talking here in the next hour. I don't know. It's certainly hope they don't take forever.
Yeah, well, Ballard is notoriously late all the time, so wouldn't be shocked. But I believe it's Ballard and then Shane Steichen. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
And you're watching this on Colts.com, right?
Yep, this is on Colts.com right now, so we won't have to worry about any of those dumb commercials or ads or anything that come up on YouTube. So
I can say I can hear the background audio. So
yep. Yeah.
What's going on, Matt? What's up? Just as good. How's everybody doing?
Hope everybody's doing well today. Been looking forward to
Less
hearing.
than 2 weeks from free agency.
Yes, sir. We're
And then
getting there.
obviously Combine this week. So
Yeah. So last week we talked about, or last year we focused on defensive line a little bit. Obviously DBs. Did we focus? We probably focused on tight ends as well, but really there was only one. So I don't know how much we actually focused on tight ends outside of Brock Bowers. Wide receivers we certainly focused on last year. I don't know. Any positions what are the positions you're going to be looking the most at, Derek, in the next couple of days at the Combine?
what's up?
I said, what positions are you going to be looking at in this upcoming Combine this week?
Definitely the tight end group. Definitely want to make sure that I'm keeping a close eye on things because if for some reason we don't take Tyler Warren in the first round, it'd be good to know what these other tight ends are doing.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say linebackers I'll keep an eye out for too in case we start looking there. And you can never be too careful when it looks for defensive backs too.
Yeah.
So I heard Ashton Genty isn't going to be working out at all during this week. He's
Abdul Carter's also not going to, I believe.
Yeah. Well, because supposedly he was somewhat injured at the end of the year and he had to get like a doctor's permission to like do stuff for his pro day. So he has a legit medical reason. Ashton Genty's just not doing it just because.
Yeah.
I kind of don't like that, Cody. I know that it's kind of turning like into, it's obviously not like the all-star break in the NBA, but like when you get these invites to these types of things, and obviously guys, we're just ranting until Chris Ballard gets up here. It just feels like if you're not going to participate in anything other than just interviews, then you shouldn't be allowed to have a talk here.
Here we go.
Here we go. I got one here. Finally got him up here.
It's up, and of course.
All right, good to be back.
There we go. Okay.
Sweet.
As always, Indy, Jeff Foster, the NIC, the NFL, the event we put on here in Indy, I don't think anybody can do it better. Organized.
Agreed.
It's a great place, downtown Indy. They do a great job every year. Great place to put on the Combine. So thankful for Jeff and all the work him and his staff do. I think it goes underappreciated, the work and time it takes them to organize all of this. It's impressive work. All right, fire away.
I'm so glad they don't ask the media. They don't have the media have mics, so we can't hear anything they're asking.
We're going to meet again next week. Ryan and I'll talk. I'm visiting with his agent again this week, and then we'll make a decision right after the season. The day we visited for a little bit, we didn't visit about his future, and then I was sick as a dog, and I said, "Hey, let's visit here." And so we'll visit next week.
I wish I knew who they were asking about.
Not really. I mean, personal issues dealing with. He's dealing with it. We're supporting Braden. Think the world have been a great player for us. We'll see going forward.
Wow.
All right, so there's about Braden.
So
what I will tell you is he's doing really well, and he wants to play football. Okay, we'll work through the rest of it.
Okay, so he's probably not going to retire.
I won't get into. Here's what I will say about Bernie. The progress Bernie has made from year one to now has been, it's been pretty incredible. And who he is. I'm not going to get into contracts and talks. I think he's a really good player. He's a good Colt. But happy for him and the progress he's made, and glad he's on our team. No, it's the same. I mean, look, it's got to be the right guy to create real competition, but we want to create real competition. I think it's good for the team. I think it's good for Anthony. I mean, I don't like when we drafted Anthony High, knowing it was going to take some time. All right. And we knew there's going to be some hiccups along the way. And it's, I know we all want a finished product right now. I do, you do, fans do, we all do. But I think as he continues to progress in his young career, us adding competition, I think will help up everybody's game.
So that was about the quarterback competition.
It's all on. Yes, everything's on the table.
Everything's on the
It'll
table.
be open. That's correct.
Hmm.
And of course, it's got to be somebody that can really challenge from a production standpoint too. Yep.
Will Price.
Well, I think you know me well enough to know that
There it is. There's one.
it's a position that we don't ever want to go light on. Let's get into Will. From a 7th round pick to everybody, kind of beating him up a little bit as he kind of grew to coming into a really good football player has been really cool and fun to watch. Just the work he put in. I'll never forget after his first year, I probably shouldn't say this, but I sent him to a friend of mine in Chicago, and him and Danny Penner worked, and it was, I think, some confidence instilled in him, some strength, and then to watch him progress. And then unfortunate this year, with the injury, but the rehab has been, he's worked like anything you would expect from Will, like never a missed day, doing everything in his power. He's progressing nicely. So I couldn't be more happy for him. Hopefully we can get something done. If not, we'll get into free agency and then we'll see what the market is. I'm visiting with his guys here later this week. We visited with Will a bunch. It's an area, look, we know that, I think my feelings, like you have to be good up front. It's hard when you can't block people. And over the length of a season, it shows, like when you have weakness, it shows up. That's kind of why we drafted the 2 kids last year who we think have bright futures. We think Bortolini has a bright future, and he showed some flashes at guard. And then we think Gonzalez has a really bright future. They did some really good things. And look, at the end of the season, we did some good things in the, offensively, running the football. But they're young players. So it's a position that we have to make sure we've got 5, really 6, 7, and 8 guys that can play. So he trains down in Florida. We know his trainer well. His trainer's excellent. He's excellent. And he's got multiple guys. Last offseason, Anthony spent a lot of time rehabbing. All right. So now he can focus on just training and developing and getting better fundamentally, which will be fun to watch. I talk to Tom pretty regularly, who trains him. And so we get pretty good updates on him, and, rules are what the rules are. They can't do as much in our building as they can outside of the building. So it'll be interesting to see, when he gets back in, but I think we're going to see a good version, things that he'll continue to need to work on when he's with us. But I have a lot of faith in the guys he's training with. It just worked out that way. I mean, Lou's a really good coach. I mean, it's amazing in this league how you can go from being one of the top head coaching candidates to not being. Lou's an outstanding coach, and then to be able to add the 2 other, with Chris Hewitt, like I felt we got a little lucky. Next thing I know, he's on the market, and we were able to get him to come in. So we feel fortunate about all the coaches that Lou was able to, we gave Lou the freedom. We said, hey, look, who do you want on staff? And he interviewed and kept some of our guys. And he said, here's some targets I wanted to get. So we feel very fortunate to get the ones that we have.
Said that Lou had free reign to get whoever he wanted on his staff.
Gotcha.
He did a lot of good things. I think with any rookie, I mean, there's a learning curve. There is, like, it doesn't matter. There's a learning curve, but he did a lot of great things. I think the number one thing, for any O lineman or D lineman, the physicality down after down that they have to face, it's an adjustment. It is. And in college football, much different because they're going so fast. And so it's just a different mentality when you get in our league and it's down after down, the physical, and then you're playing against tackles that are really good, who understand how you want to rush them, know where their weaknesses are. And so you've got to develop a plan. So I think I thought you could see it as the year went on. Were the sacks coming at the end? No, but the pressures were, and I think you'll see him finish more as we go forward here. Buckner DeForest I know Latu was getting a little frustrated. And I remember DeForest got to him and say, look, man, it took me 2 years to really develop to where I really understood how to rush. I think it'll come on quicker than that, but everybody's developmental timetable is different.
Well, he's already in year 1, so
Yeah.
I think it's a case-by-case basis. I mean, if you look at the success of the kids last year that came in the league, they'd all played a lot of football. But, both of them had played a lot of football. I mean, I do think it's a case-by-case. But, I mean, I think you're seeing young guys come in and have success. And I think a lot of it is because of what they're doing, the snaps they're getting in college, how many snaps they're getting. I think it depends who the free agent running back is. I mean, Jonathan Taylor had a pretty good season for us. I think it just depends on who that guy is. Are they a guy that can really change the landscape of your team? I mean, and the guys that hit the market last year were really good players. And I think the market paid them accordingly. I think it depends. That's a case by case, who the player is and, how many downs he playing on. Is the defense really got to focus on him? Do they really have to game plan to stop him? Is that a guy that on Monday and Tuesday that they're saying, okay, we have to stop this guy, to have a chance to stop their offense? There's a difference. I'm not going to say they don't, but those two guys are elite. They're elite players. That's good. That's a good question. Here's what, and been doing this a long time, coming to this event for a long time. Here's what, and I think they've done a better job of, like 10 years ago, they were crunched into a 3 or 4 day period where interviews, medical, workouts. I mean, it was exhausting on them. So I think between the NFL, the PA's involvement, and players' feedback, they've kind of stretched it out to where they're getting enough rest. So I'll tell you a great story. Johnny Knox. I'll never forget. Here's this young kid from Abilene Christian he's a Division II player. Man, everything he did, interview, workout. I mean, he lit it up. It was not too big for him. He did everything, and all of a sudden, we get him in the 5th round. There's Johnny Niles, take Johnny Knox. In the 5th round, he ends up becoming a great player. Unfortunately, got hurt at one point. Guys that come here and perform, and it's not too big for them, there's a confidence level that you can see that they're going to do it at our level too. Now, look, there's no pads on. There's no football involved for the most, but there's no contact. So it's different. But I just think guys that show up that are confident in who they are, what they can do, what their talent level is, and they usually end up performing good in our league. So there's a lot you can find out, just how they handle the stress of the week. Like, it's a long week on them. There's more rest time for them, which is good, but the stress of the week, I mean, interview after interview. I mean, it's like last night we had interviews up till like 11, and there was a kid that got his medical ran late, and so we didn't get to start till 11 with him. But him walking in for good attitude, not griping about, man, they had me in medical. It's been a long day. No, he sat there for 20, 25 minutes with us and answered every question, was alert, attentive. That's not always the case. So you can find out a lot just by your interactions and watching them all week.
I don't get what these questions are.
No, that's interesting because we're very aware of the products out there. And I think every player's different. Like, all right, let's take this. Like Andrew, when we had Andrew, I remember bringing up the Strive, like they were the big group then, Striver, and it made Andrew dizzy. He didn't like it. All right. So I think every player's different. But I do say this, with the video age of where we're at today, you're going to see a lot more players that are into it. I think players are more, like, they are far more educated in the game of football just because of Madden. Like, when you look at how advanced like when I was that age, there's no way. Like, all we did was, like, we didn't have that. We had Tecmo Bowl, which, I mean, you aren't learning defenses and offensive scheme, and like they're doing this from a young age. So you're getting some advanced guys at least knowing what to do. Now, recreating it from a virtual reality, look here, there's no doubt it has value, but you are not getting hit. Like, there's a difference when there's the threat of pain. There just is. Like, the game, it's just different. Like, it's a physical game, so it's different. It does help, yes, but like with anything, like, you got to line up and go play and with pads on.
Last one here. When you look at Lou's defense, is there any young players or position groups that really stand out to you that you guys are excited about this year?
Look, I think Lou's very multiple, and I think he's proven that with what he's done. I think we do got some good young, front players. It'd be good to get Samson. Samson's been doing a great work in terms of, rehab. So it'll be fun to watch how he uses Latu. If you're able to move Latu around and be creative with him. So that'll be fun to watch.
I think they said last question here.
I think every draft there's always players. But I think D-line's really good. I think tight end is really good. I think there's some like the O-line, I would tell you, mid-round stuff is really deep. Those positions for sure. I think there's some good secondary players. So I think there's some positions that really do have some good depth in here.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That was, I'm going to be honest, that was awful. That was just, ugh.
Well, it's Steichen's up next, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know why they cut the feed or something. Hang on.
Yeah, go ahead and make it back. So the couple of topics just right off the bat. Give me 1 second here, guys, just making sure we got everything.
Yeah.
So first things first, they were talking about Ryan Kelly. He said he'll talk to Ryan Kelly about his future here soon.
Yeah.
In regards to Braden Smith, they said that there's still just personal stuff going on, but it sure sounds like he wants to play still, and sure doesn't sound like Ballard is in any hurry to replace him right now. So that was the first couple things. They mentioned quarterback competition. So Ballard said every option is open to adding a QB, whether that be trade, draft, or free agency. And Cody, he mentioned it as an open competition. It wasn't just, try to get a quarterback in here to, back up Anthony Richardson. He said this would be good for Anthony, but they said it's open. Like they're gonna bring in a quarterback, and whoever wins the job is gonna win the job, supposedly.
BS, dude. Don't even come on.
Yeah, I don't really buy that.
We all know it's not gonna happen.
I don't buy that because if you do, then all of a sudden it just makes you look worse. So
Yeah.
I don't really buy that.
No, I just there was a couple things in there, but then there was questions. I'm like, what is this relevant to the Indianapolis Colts? Why are you asking a question about VR? I just don't understand. I know it's a thing, but why is that a question when he only has 10, 15 minutes that he's talking? You only have limited amount of questions and you choose those kind of questions. I didn't, to be frank with you, there's only a few questions that we got real answers on. And even some of the questions we wanted answers on, Ballard did his typical BS, beat around the bush to give you, answer without an answer. And it's just frustrating when you're just you just get just nothing. I don't really even know what to take away from that, to be honest with you. It's just frustrating. Nobody asked him about free agents. Nobody asked him, that stuff that's happening in the next 2 weeks. So I'm just confused by that. Why did we not hit the
really
things that actually
anything?
Well, I know,
nobody
but there
really
also were Colts people out there. The media was there. So I'm kind of just come on, ask that. That's legitimately the biggest question. The draft's still 2 months away or whatever, I want to know about stuff that's happening in the immediate, they started to ask him about some of the young players they had, but I wish they would have asked him about, some of the guys out there in free agency and, the fresh blood thing that he talked about, that kind of stuff. I don't know. It just would have been nice. So, just frustrating, but we got a few answers at least.
Yeah.
Just awful. Just awful. And we're not typically, I don't feel like we usually are super critical, when it comes to the press conferences, but oh my gosh, that was so bad.
Everything's under a microscope now, when it comes to it comes to all this,
Jason's in here saying that.
In here, what's up? I saw Mantis is in here talking about them good character guys, that's the philosophy, man. If you got good character, then that says a lot about you.
Character over talent, right? That's what he said. That's the Chris Ballard MO.
That's been the motto forever.
Now we get to wait for another 2 hours till Shane Steichen goes up, probably. Yeah. Even though they said it'll be 5:30, it'll probably be about 6:30.
Hey, so after this stream is done, are we doing another video or is it just these?
Yeah, I thought that we could probably just recap the actual press conferences.
Okay, sounds good.
Just give a quick recap. Doesn't have to be super long. So that's what I was thinking.
Sounds good. We can do that. I just need to know just because the fiance is working on dinner soon. So I just need to know, just planning out my evening.
Yeah, Chris Ballard's going to say it's an open competition and go sign Daniel Jones, and we're all going to hate it.
That's the thing, if it's in free agency, then what would you do, right? I mean, that's the
To me, the only legitimate competition is Justin Fields. To me, I could be wrong. I really could.
So
but I don't see a lot of legitimate, actual guys that are going to push him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's Flacco, there's Fields, there's Locke, there's Mariota, there's Winston. As far as any others, I don't really see. Daniel Jones, yeah. We know for a fact that Daniel Jones ain't beating nobody out. He's trash.
Maybe Carr. You think Carr will get cut? I don't know. I
doubt he gets cut, but I mean, you never know.
Cookies and milk. I love it.
What is going on in this chat right now?
Hey, I could, yeah.
Leo Vargas with a $5 super chat. Derek, I have a source that works for the Colts organization, and according to him, Ballard wants Justin Reed. No BS, real talk here. Well, hey, listen, your sources are as good as mine. All right. Too expensive for the Saints, already in cap hell. Yeah, I mean, the Saints have been in cap hell for like 5 years, haven't they?
What's just crazy is like you see teams like the Saints that literally have been in cap hell for like the last half decade, and the Colts sit there with $40 million in free agency every year and don't spend it, and
yet somehow, some way, these teams end up right at about the same spot.
Yeah, exactly. So that goes to show
the Saints might have been slightly worse than we have been the last few years, but I mean, in that much of a difference, though, yeah. Like honestly.
It's crazy. It just goes to show if you can't be out there, throwing money around, but also you can't be, basically just signing these C-level, D-level free agents and drafting guys and thinking that you're going to get instant success.
Ultimately, the biggest aspect that you can have to a team, a successful team, usually are the ones that it's like the Commanders situation right now. The Commanders are in such a great position for themselves because they have their franchise quarterback and he's on their rookie deal, and they have $75 million in free cap. So they have so much money to spend on whoever they want to bring in to improve their team. And they don't have to spend any money to get the most important position of them all, and that's the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Then again, you have other teams like the Chiefs that, are like on the skin of their teeth when it comes to how much cap they have at the end of the year. But people are willing to come to the Chiefs for less money because they know they have a chance for a championship.
Chiefs actually know what they're doing too. Chiefs aren't afraid to make some swings. So
fun hypothetical. If you could pick any two players to come to indefinitely, one from free agency and one from the draft. Frick. It doesn't sound like the Colts are releasing Smith or Sampson.
Leave it to Chris Ballard to overpay for both those guys. To leave these guys, that one guy's coming off an Achilles injury, one guy we don't even know the future of, but he's missed a lot of time. Leave it to Chris Ballard to pay like half the team's salary in offensive linemen. Just leave it to him. Sounds about right. And then we have no cap space to do anything in free agency. Sounds about right. That fits the bill.
I'm going to make that as a video for the main channel.
Yeah.
Because that'll be something we can do.
Sounds good. Someone said, Colts fan Cole said, thank God the feed got cut out before the trademark Ballard belly laugh. That's pretty funny. Oh, well.
I don't know. It just sounds like there's just nothing's going to change.
I would say I'm not. That's why I said, Derek. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm not going to believe anything's going to change because Chris Ballard is quite literally one of the most stubborn, ignorant people I've ever seen in the GM position. It's insane. So I'm not going to believe that anything's going to change because if 2022 didn't change him, Chris Ballard, Derek, what's going to make me think this year is going to change him? Nothing. Y'all know me. Yeah, exactly. We do know him. We do know he's not going to change. Nothing's changing. We know this. Oh, yeah, I know, right? Everybody says, oh, you haven't been critical of Chris Ballard. And I'm like, I feel like I've been insanely critical of Chris Ballard. Like, ever since, I think just this season and how it unfolded. I mean, I think last year, Derek, with the free agency, the ways the Colts chose to sit out of free agency outside of re-signing their own guys really rubbed me the wrong way. So,
yeah, and especially obviously now when you look back at it and just be like, we knew that they were probably not going to do a whole lot of moves, but we sure as hell thought they would do something, and they didn't do anything. I mean, it sure sounded like they tried in a few different places, but
see, that's the thing. That's what the motto of Chris Ballard is. Well, we tried, guys. We tried to trade up for Brock Bowers. We tried to sign Daniil Hunter. We tried to trade for L'Jarius Sneed. That's all he ever is
it's try, but we didn't do what it took to make sure that stuff happens.
That's just what he is. It's insane. It's insane to me. Hey, Derek, you've seen Star Wars, right?
I mean, not really.
Oh, dude, we're gonna have to have a conversation. All right. Anyway, to quote the great Master Yoda, "Do or do not, there is no try." There you go.
Very much true. I do know that. I know that freaking quote. Everybody knows the Yoda quote.
That is the quote that just like we need to have Jim Irsay say to Chris Ballard.
Do you think we keep Jelani Woods this year? Well, yeah, I mean, he's on a rookie deal. No doubt that we're going to keep him because there's no financial reason not to. And especially since you're holding out on the idea that he might stay healthy. But that's the big concern, right? Like, Cody, you posted that video of Jelani's video, and like, yeah, that's great. But like, we saw that last year.
Yeah,
we saw that last year. He had the same thing coming back from the injury. He looked strong. He looked fast. And then all of a sudden he pulls another hammy, and then, we never see him again. Right. So like, it sucks. Cause like, I don't want to be that, but like, but I don't have confidence. I don't have confidence. And
now I'm kind of like, I'm like, do we want to wait another 30 minutes to listen to Shane Steichen? I don't know if I do, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's worth it. Do we just go recap Chris Ballard's presser and maybe do a recap on the other channel about that? Because I don't know how long we just want to sit around and rag on Chris Ballard. Because, I mean, I could keep doing it, but I don't know if the other people want to listen to us do that. So I don't know what your thoughts are.
I don't know. I don't know when. Yeah, I don't know when.
It's supposed to be 5:30. So I'm like, do we want to wait around for? Yeah, exactly. So we want to wait.
Why is it taking them so damn long?
Because nobody knows.
All right, that's fine. I'm willing to do that.
You're waiting. You want to wait?
No, I don't want to wait. Let's just.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, sorry, we're not going to wait because that actually, I think just the absolute stupidity of that press conference made us a little bit more impatient here. So we're kind of just like, I don't want to wait around to hear the same BS from Shane, because it's going to be similar probably.
Right.
And I feel like you get more, typically, not today, but typically you get more from Ballard than you do from Shane because Ballard's ultimately the one making the decision. So, yeah.
We could just leave this stream up and then just come in after.
I don't know, man. We could just have Jason and Young Mantis come on here and just talk about that for the next 30 minutes.
Steichen never says anything.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't really say anything. So is it worth waiting 30 minutes to hear him say everything we already heard from Chris Ballard, everything we already know? I don't know.
Or just record your vid on here and just let us watch. That is funny.
What's up? It better not be till 5:30. If we stay,
it says that's what it is.
Yeah. So Achilles injuries, though, Derek, they're terrible. Like they, likely he's not going to be right for this year, like Samson Ebukam, that is. So I guess that's kind of my question is like, you're paying him a lot. Everybody likes to say, look what he did in 2023. But Derek, this is a serious injury he went through. And I was a big Ebukam guy. I liked what Ebukam did. I thought he was I thought he was the best edge rusher in 2023, to be honest with you. But that Achilles injury, it scares me, man. It scares me because he has one more year on his deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, do you want to take that risk with a 30-year-old? I don't know. I just don't know. I'm torn on that. I think Braden, you certainly, if you keep him around, you need to restructure that deal somehow. You got to do something there.
You got to open up some cap because, I mean, you only have 29.
Yeah. Well, it's over 30 now, right? They increased the cap. So somewhere
I got to look to see if it updated or not.
It's somewhere probably, I think, around 30, mid-30s, maybe low 30s, somewhere between there. I thought it was 33, but I don't know if that's right.
Oh, yeah. It's 35. 35 now.
So still, you'd like to get some cap space back.
Yeah, so right now, Colts are kind of in the middle of the pack with like their overall cap. They're just kind of right in the middle. The Jaguars have 38, Broncos have 41, and the Panthers are below them. They have 29. So yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So yeah, practically right in the middle of everyone else's cap. So
yeah.
If he doesn't cut right, bro, if he didn't cut Taven Bryan, why would he cut Raekwon Davis?
Because Raekwon Davis is freaking expensive.
Oh yeah.
At least
you've been telling him to cut Molly Cox, but he wouldn't do that, or at least restructure the deal.
That's true. Yeah.
Imagine Scotabo and Jonathan Taylor and Richardson. Yeah, that'd be quite the trio back there. Scotabo just embodies what I would imagine a Colt being. He just is that guy. He's big, he's strong, he breaks tackles, he does the dirty work, and he's a guy that you would never expect to be as good as he is, but he is. And
yeah,
that's just what a Colt is to me.
If we're gonna be on here, if we decided,
I'm good with whatever, honestly.
What does the chat think? Because if we do, I need to make a phone call here. That's why I'm asking.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm good with
it's not worth it. Super pony. I know, probably not.
It probably isn't.
Well, I think pretty much everybody probably is subscribed to the main channel, but if not, hey, help us get to 20K. We're going to be posting our recap here of Ballard and then probably Steichen a little bit later, maybe. So we'll see. Okay, so we have one that says not worth it, one that says stay on, one that says I'd love if you stay, but I get if you go. So I need some more answers here. Okay, got another one. Press conference. All right.
Like I said, I'd be fine with just like leaving this for a few minutes and then just putting our be back soon screen and then just doing a quick video.
Find a compromise.
Yeah. So what we'll do, guys, is we'll just put up our we'll just put this up just to
we'll be back.
You guys enticed. We'll be right back. So we're gonna do a quick video. We'll be right back. We're gonna make a quick video and we will be back in time to start the Steichen presser. So just give us about 15 minutes or so.
I gotta make a quick phone call, but then I'll hop into that.
Okay, I'll make a video on the recap thing.
We will be back. Okay.
Later, boys.
We'll be back.
Hey guys, we're back.
So
Cody's gonna pull up Steichen. Obviously, timelines don't mean anything to anyone anymore. So
yeah. Okay, let me see if this will go all the way back. It's
doesn't matter if
5:30.
we missed any of it. Just whatever from here, just do it.
Okay, I tried to go back as far as it would let me with the Shane Steichen thing.
It's good. Don't even worry about it.
If it'll load.
Are you on Twitter now?
Yeah.
Here, let me.
I can try Colts.com.
Here, turn yours off. Turn yours off. Let me get mine.
Yeah, if you can go back. You sharing
Yeah,
that?
I think it's a great question. I think it's got a lot of benefits. We have it in our house. We use it. I think it's really good. It really is. It puts you in the game. I've done it, and it's pretty interesting. Obviously, you're not getting hit. You don't have pads on, but you can set your plays up and put your exact playbook on there versus certain defenses, and you can put yourself into the stadium. Like shoot, we're playing at Lucas Oil. It shows Lucas Oil Stadium, the guys you're going against. So to get those extra reps are huge. I think it's awesome. Yeah, he used it. Yeah, it's great.
Last year, you guys had the smallest or one of the smallest staffs. What's your philosophy on how you construct your staff, your assistants? How do you want to designate them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it depends, on what you're looking for from a staff standpoint. Obviously, you have your position coaches, and along that, you have assistants with your young assistants. I think as long as you hire assistants and young assistants and you have a role for them, I think that's very beneficial. But if you're just going to hire guys and not have a role for them, I don't think that does you any good. So every person that we hire, we have a plan in place before we hire them and make sure their role is clearly defined.
You were an assistant before you became a head coach. How have you seen maybe the size of staffs grow? Is it a good thing that they continue to get bigger?
Yeah, it definitely has grown. I think some staffs are bigger than others. You go around and, talk to other people, what's the benefit of having bigger staffs? And I think it's really what you're looking for and what you need from that standpoint and what their role is going to be, like I said earlier. So I think that's the biggest thing is understanding what the role is. And, hey, we might need someone to do this and we don't have another hand for that. We need to hire this person to do that. And I think that's kind of how staffs continue to grow and get bigger.
Shane, with Lou, there's the system, but then there's also getting more out of individual players. Do you think there's anything that he does that may be able to bring that out of some guys?
Yeah, I think, going through the interview process and being with him the last couple of weeks, he's got great energy about him. And I think he'll be able to really connect with our players and use our player strengths. I really do. And I think he did a hell of a job with that in Cincinnati. And, going through and looking at his game plans, the biggest thing, that I've seen over the years, he's always got a plan to take their best player away. And so you go into these big games or wherever it may be, he'll have a plan, to win the game for that.
Force Buckner made some comments late in the season about how he felt like ego, complacency with some of the issues on defense. Chris talked about changing the roster over to maybe add more competition. I guess from your standpoint as a coaching staff, what can you do to address that? And was that at all a factor in deciding on a defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I think, when those things happen during the season, you get comments like that. Obviously, when that stuff does happen in the season, we nip it in the butt quickly. But I think, you look at your roster and you look at competition, and adding competition is great. But to flip the whole roster over and change the whole roster, that's not realistic. So we're working through that. We're looking at free agency and we're looking at the draft.
Basically talked about DeForest Buckner's comments.
Yeah, I think anytime you hire either whether, your offensive head coach, you hire a defensive guy, I think it's important that he has some guys that he feels comfortable with. So as we were going through that process, obviously he knew some of the guys we were bringing in. Obviously we interviewed them and just make sure it's the right fit. There's a lot of good coaches out there, but we want to make sure that we got the right fit so they can gel together and the chemistry is going to be good. Yeah, I think, that Baltimore defense still today, obviously is one of the best in the league. They've been doing it at a high level, and he's had that back end playing at a high level for a long time. So to be able to get him in our situation that we got him in, couldn't have worked out great, better for us. So really excited to add him to our staff. Yeah, that's a good question. I think, we went through some adversity last year, and I've learned from that adversity. Obviously, the first year I was here, things went pretty good. Obviously, we didn't make the playoffs, but we hit a little bit of adversity. So you learn from that. So when those situations come up, if they ever do come up again, you're ready for those. But again, just being in that leadership role and being in those team meetings and being the leader of the football team and having a message every single week, I think I continue to grow in that area too.
How are you looking to bolster that within your players through free agency, the draft, and this offseason?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think culture is about winning. You know what I mean? I think it comes down to winning a lot, but obviously you got to cultivate that culture with the players that you have in the locker room and the coaches leading the charge. So, you build that through the off season, you build that through spring, you get into training camp, and you really build your identity that way. Mm-hmm. I think this, with a young quarterback, I think continuity is important at that position with a young guy. Obviously playing, 15 games in the NFL, hearing that, those same voices. I got a lot of, respect and confidence in Cam and Jim Bob and the work that they do. They're really good coaches. So to have another year with those voices in his ear, I think will be beneficial.
Here's my thing, Derek. That was the coaching staff that AR came out and said,
I think every year is like that in the NFL. You know what I mean? You got to show up and play. You know what I mean? Every year it's pressure situations, and you got to show up week in and week out and put on your best performance.
Like, that's the coaching staff that didn't get him prepared. That's what bothers me about keeping those same voices.
That wasn't as much of an emphasis this past year. Is that something that going into this offseason you guys would like to find a way to replicate, or is what?
Yeah, I think obviously Jonathan Taylor, as we know, is a really good player. He's our bell cow, and to add pieces behind that, obviously we'll look into that. To add some guys there, and then we'll go from there. But I thought he ran it well this year. I think we finished 8th in rushing this year, but to add some more pieces behind him will be big. What's a joker? Okay, joker. This is a new one. All right, I like it. I think there's benefits to that for sure. I think, you got, maybe your short yardage back, but you also get your pass catching back out of the backfield. And obviously, when you look through that, whether it's free agency or the draft, you got to make sure, like with any guy that you bring in, you got to have a plan on how you want to use him.
All right, last one. Was there. What do you appreciate about him, and how does that influence your career?
You know what? I got a ton of respect for him. I've had, multiple conversations over the past couple of years with Tony. The work that he's done, the human that he is, the humility that he has, you can just see it. I saw a few things, this morning, just looking at some of the clips from last night, just how much the players loved him, and they just wanted to play hard for him. So, a ton of respect for him, and got a really good relationship with Tony.
All right, thanks guys.
Awesome.
There you go.
That's it for that one. Let me stop sharing.
Yep, you're good.
Get this stuff back up to me. Yeah, it is kind of funny. You were right, Cody. Like when we're talking about when they're talking about, trying to keep the same people, trying to do the same things and all this other stuff. But it's just like, you're right. Like Anthony Richardson in the beginning didn't even know why he was getting benched. He certainly wasn't allowed to talk about it. And, all these other things. And even some people on the Colts Colts team didn't even know it was going to happen until it got put out there on the internet for everyone to see.
Yeah.
So, this whole, there is no culture. There is no winning culture. There is no,
no vision
in this group. It's like what the anonymous source was that, there's nothing that makes you feel confident that Steichen and Ballard can lead this into the right direction.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm like. You've had you're going on year 3 now with this offensive coaching staff from, your offensive coordinator, obviously head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. And you're telling me that it took midway into year 2 for them to finally realize he wasn't doing everything he needed to do. You know what I mean? And I guess I'm just like, you keep the same voices in there. How do you expect things to change for the better if you don't add any outside voices? You don't change it up, shake it up a little bit even. I'm not saying go and fire Jim Bob Cooter, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Even the new quarterbacks coach, do something. I guess I just was curious if the Colts would do that, but obviously you heard the word continuity. They were favoring that over anything else. And I get that to a degree, but also, Derek, I also say you probably need a different voice in there in some way for Anthony Richardson. So just the way the whole thing has gone down with Anthony Richardson last year, I'm kind of just a little disappointed, to be frank with you, that they opted to use that stupid continuity thing again, as opposed to actually doing something outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
But again, obviously Anthony Richardson has to own that, being a pro, but also the coaching from a coaching standpoint, I don't know. I just don't like that. I think I've grown over the years with how the Colts have used continuity and how they haven't done it the right way. When I hear that word now, I kind of cringe a little bit because they haven't done continuity right. So that just bothers me. But, I mean, again, Derek, there really weren't a ton of questions that I really cared to hear, it was a lot of the pretty typical coach speak sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like answering the question without directly saying anything, which is kind of what the MO has been the last couple of years. But yeah, Colts fans are they want more. They want some clear answers to something because it was very general. I mean, pretty much very general. I didn't get any new insight out of that. So yeah. And also you can't hear the questions half the time. That was a little better than Ballard's. I'll say that. I could hear a little bit more, but still. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So whatever, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna. Again, we didn't get much from these. I didn't really figure that we would, but
it's the first time we've heard from them since the end of the year. So
true that. You just gotta hope that it builds into something.
But I mean, we're pretty confident what's been happening. I don't know, man. It's hard to be confident that anything is going to build into something positive,
Right.
Well, that's all right. We
Guess,
fulfilled our promise to y'all. We stayed.
And we watched that whole monstrosity.
Yeah. So
now
to
we're
answer
about
your
to
question,
go do some videos. Don't worry, we'll have plenty of videos over the next few days.
Yeah, to answer your question, Owen, free agency start illegal tampering is officially March 10th. So we're under 2 weeks, actually.
And from almost exactly 2 weeks from it being actual start to free agency.
Yeah, but pretty much Monday is the start of free agency because
pretty much you just don't get to.
They're not official yet, but you hear a lot of the news. Yeah, March 10th. It's crazy, man. Honestly, man, this February. It felt like January was 6 months, and February just snap of a finger.
Yeah, it was. It's been quick, dude. Honestly, this off season's gone by pretty fast.
Well, I feel like you and I have just been a lot more busy than we typically have been.
Yeah, obviously, me moving and getting a new job and all this other stuff. So it's
yeah. But hey, at least we don't have to sit for another month and wait on talk about whatever.
True that.
So. Well, I do appreciate everybody who, DSG Goodbar says, watched paint dry with us today. Hearing from the GM and the head coach who gave us no new insights on anything really. And we'll have to see, man, a couple weeks from now, what happens. Because who knows?
Watch nothing happen. Yay.
Yeah, you did move closer. We're about an hour away.
I was going to say, we're just under an hour.
And we were in a couple hours away.
Yeah, I was about 3 hours, almost 3 hours away from Cody. About 2.5 actually. And
we're actually going to have space this year to do our live stream for the draft, and also do our like individual
I
videos.
sure hope that I get that time off for that. I really
Me
hope I
too.
do. If I don't, that's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I know I'll be able to do Fridays. I should be able to do Fridays. That shouldn't be a problem.
But
It's
Thursday's
just
where it's
the
at,
first
man.
night.
Thursday's the best night.
It's a problem.
Thursday's the best night.
I know it is, and believe me, I went and did what I had to do to get that done. But just this
You're sick that
job,
day.
we don't guarantee you get that time off.
You're
okay?
sick that day, Derek. Didn't you know that? You're already sick.
I'm not going to incriminate myself on this live stream, but
You're sick. You're sick. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate it. Like we said, we're going to be having some videos recapping these very, very exciting press conferences and just kind of talk about some stuff that we did learn from Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen. So be on the lookout for that on our main channel. But do appreciate everybody for hopping in here and talking a little bit of ball with us and just listening to some questions apparently about VR and about other random stuff, not really related to the Indianapolis Colts, and a couple things about the Colts here at the Combine. But yeah, guys, it's Combine week, so definitely going to be some positions we're going to be watching. Derek will I'm assuming we'll have a video coming out as well that we'll kind of talk about some positions we're watching for when it comes to the Combine. Yep. So, yeah, guys, be sure to look out for all that stuff, but do appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. I think we gained probably, 10 subs or so from this stream alone. So awesome. I really do appreciate. Yeah, we're at 2127. We were at 2115 when we started this stream a little over an hour ago.
Nice.
So thank you, everybody. We do appreciate that. And, we'll be out having some other content coming out. But thanks, guys, so much, and we'll talk soon. See ya.